Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders Picks here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. Today is April 12th, 2021. Yesterday, I went completely washed. I went 3-3. I would have had a positive day, but last second, I decided, a lot of upsets occur in the very early games on Sundays. I decided, and Trey Young and Gallinari ended up being a late scratch. They ended up being ruled out. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take the Charlotte Hornets +3, and they ended up losing by 4. So that was, that was fantastic. So ended up going 3-3. The Bulls really disappointed me yesterday. Surprise, surprise. And then I'm trying to remember the other team that I lost, but I did have 3 wins yesterday. So if you guys did tail me, I am sorry for that. It's just a wash of a day. So, but hopefully we can get that back today. So, I'm pretty confident about my picks. I've done quite a bit of research so far, and I'm just going to dive right into it. So, this Lakers game is the Lakers versus New York. Lakers actually just smoked Brooklyn outright, and I'm trying to remember if Brooklyn had, who did they have? Did they have Kyrie? Yeah, they had Kyrie and they had Kevin Durant, and they got blown out by 25. So, that makes me want to pick the Lakers a lot. It makes me want to pick the Lakers +3.5 since they are the hot hand, they are the hot team. However, every time that I have thought that, especially on a second leg of a back-to-back, I've been wrong. So, in this instance, I am going to go ahead and take New York minus the 3.5. And primarily for the only real reason is just the fact that New York has been pretty good lately. They beat Toronto by 6, brought Memphis into overtime, won by 4, and these are all just okay teams. They kept it close with Boston. They kept it very close with Brooklyn. So it's a team that, they beat the teams that they need to beat, and the teams that they shouldn't beat, they do end up keeping it close. So truthfully, I do like New York minus 3.5. If that line was any bigger, if it was 4, 4.5, 5, there's no way I'd be betting on the New York Knicks tonight. But I just feel like the Lakers left everything out on the line yesterday. Obviously, LeBron and Anthony Davis are still not back. However, they do have KCP. They've had KCP. They have THT back right now. So this is their starting lineup still. Schroeder, looks like KCP, THT, Markieff Morris, and Andre Drummond. But, yeah, so it looks like LeBron's out for sure. Anthony Davis is still out. Wesley Matthews is questionable, and Kuzma's questionable. I don't know. I just don't. I'm going to be taking the Knicks. I feel like they're going to win and cover. That's just my own personal opinion. And if it's -2, I might just go ahead. That's way better anyway. So the lower the line, obviously, the better. I do think that New York wins and covers. Next game, Philadelphia and Dallas. Not a huge fan of this game. Not a huge fan. I will say that if I had to pick a side, I'd go Philly. Philly's obviously one of the best teams right now. They did lose to New Orleans pretty bad the last time that I bet on them. Last time I bet on Philadelphia, they got smoked by New Orleans. So, with that being said, it is it's kind of a scary pick, but they do have what at one point was the front runner for MVP. Let me check and see if Dallas has any injuries going on. So just Kleber does. What about Philly? Does Philly have anyone? Tobias Harris is questionable, so that could be a big one to watch out for. I'm not a huge fan of this game, no matter what. But if I did pick a side, I would go Philadelphia -2.5. But I am going to be completely staying away from that game probably. This game I really like. Minnesota versus Brooklyn. I got to be honest. Minnesota just beat the Bulls by I think 4. Yeah, they beat them by 4 last night, which obviously isn't saying too much because it is the Bulls. However, Brooklyn just lost, like I said, by 25 to the Lakers outright with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if I can see that off of I don't know if I can see this off of covers. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I can. So Kevin Durant is on a minutes restriction right now. He's sitting at about, 20 to 25 minutes. So, and for tonight, for the Nets, Kyrie Irving's out, LaMarcus Aldridge is out, James Harden is out, Tyler Johnson is out, and obviously Spencer Dinwiddie's been out for the rest of the season. So you're looking at a lineup of probably maybe Landry Shamet, Chris Chiozza, or Reggie Perry as the starting point guard tonight. And they're only good, and so you're looking at probably, we'll just say Landry Shamet. So you're looking at Landry Shamet, TLC, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Jordan, maybe? Or wait, is he out? No, he's in. Am I missing him? No, he's just not on the... Did he just not play, maybe? Maybe he just didn't play. So that's probably the lineup you're looking at. I got to be completely honest. I downright love this game. This will be my favorite play of the day for sure. Minnesota plus 9.5 to cover that spread. Like I said, Brooklyn just lost by 25 outright with Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and LaMarcus Aldridge, and Blake Griffin off the bench to a Lakers team without Kuzma, Anthony Davis, LeBron. They didn't have any of those guys. Dennis Schroeder got ejected early, so they basically didn't have four of their starters. Well, I guess Kuzma comes off the bench. He's a role player. So they didn't have three of their starters for sure. They didn't have three of their starters for most of the game. They beat the best team in the league by 25. And now Brooklyn has almost none of those players. The only one that they'll have is Blake Griffin and Kevin Durant. Those are the only stars that they'll have on their team. Stars. And Kevin Durant's going to be on a 25-minute limit probably. Just because why would you throw him back into the mix, give him a full run, and he hurts his hamstring again just in time for playoffs? Why would you do that? So I love Minnesota here. Minnesota has been playing very well too. The only injury they have is Jalen Noel, and obviously Malik Beasley, but they still have a solid roster. They still have D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench, which kind of shocks me. But yeah, they beat Chicago. They forced overtime with Boston. They only lost by 4 to Indiana. It looks like they're trying to make a very late run to try to get into the play-in game. So it looks like they're genuinely trying. It looks like they truthfully want to win. And it looks like they're just giving it their all as of right now. So I love Minnesota plus the 9.5. Next game is San Antonio versus Orlando. This game, I got to be honest, I don't like the spread at all. I don't like the spread at all. But I do like the under on this. The under is 221 on this game. And I feel like it'll probably be lower than that. The last time that these teams played, let's see. Am I able to see that on? No. Yeah, no. So I can't see it. But that's okay. I know that the last time that these two teams played each other, I think the Orlando Magic scored 70-something points. Now, granted, that was, they were going through a lot, but they still had Vucevic at the time. So they still had a very good roster. So, and it's tough right now because they're trying to get some of their players back in, such as they're trying to fit in Wendell Carter Jr., they're trying to fit in some of these players that I have no idea who they are. Cole Anthony's back off the bench again. So they just have an absolute crapshoot of a roster. So if you wanted to take San Antonio -6, you definitely could. I just personally really like the under in this game. That's all. Okay, next game is Chicago versus Memphis. I got to be completely honest. Every time that I've bet on the Bulls, other than, let's see. So they won the last. So before these two losses, they won 3 straight. And I got to be honest, I predicted the Toronto game because Toronto was missing a lot of players. I thought for sure they'd beat Atlanta, but then Gallinari and Capella came back, and I thought that they would beat Minnesota. So, I want to take a look at this real quick. Let's take a look at Memphis. Let's see. I mean, Memphis, they've been really good as of late. They've been very good. D'Anthony Melton is questionable, which I guess is something that you can keep an eye on. I don't know. I'm very scared to pick this game. I'm very scared, but like I've said in my previous videos, I always bet on the Bulls games, whether it's against them, whether it's for them, so that way I have more of a reason to watch the games. I love watching the Chicago Bulls, even though they're not necessarily the best team. I just love watching them. So, you know what? My gut feeling is telling me to pick Memphis, which is why I'm going with the opposite. I am going with Chicago +3, and there are some pretty good reasons. I mean, truthfully, there are. Valanciunas is not a very good defensive center. He's just not. And right now, we have Vucevic, who's one of the best centers in the league, and especially when it comes to like scoring-wise. He's one of the best centers in the league. He's probably like top 5, top 10. Have Zach LaVine still, who's an absolute bucket, absolute monster. We have no injuries. And as of right now, I think we are in the 10th spot, I think, in the playoffs. So we got to be racking up some wins quick, especially if we want to make the playoffs. Next, we have this Memphis matchup. This is a must-win. So I'm taking Chicago. I don't like the pick. I feel like Memphis should win and cover probably. But I'm taking Chicago, man. I just, for all those reasons I just said, I can't go against them. I'm just giving them a shot. And especially if they lose this game, I really don't think there's much of a shot to make playoffs. So I probably won't be on that Bulls bandwagon anymore after this. But I got to give it one more shot. Chicago Bulls +3. This next game is Utah and Washington. I love this game again. So, I got to be honest. Absolutely, like I said, I absolutely love this game. And I think Washington is going to cover that 13.5. Now, the reason why is because in Utah, Jordan Clarkson is out. I'm pretty sure on one of the news things, he's already said he's going to be out. Mike Conley is out. So they really don't have a point guard at all, which is fine, because Donovan Mitchell is going to run point guard anyway. But the thing is, they don't have a guy. Because Donovan Mitchell, he's a pretty good defender, but he's not like a lockdown defender. You know what I'm saying? So there's not going to be someone that's going to be able to guard Russell Westbrook, and there's not going to be someone that's going to be able to guard Bradley Beal at the same time. It's just not going to happen. Obviously, they have a very good paint presence in Rudy Gobert, but personally, I think that 13.5 is way too big of a number, especially for a Washington team that, even though they've been struggling, they have struggled, but, it's okay. Bradley Beal should be back. He's averaging 30. Russell Westbrook is literally a triple-double waiting to happen. Their record is serviceable. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination, and they just have a deep bench. So I truthfully think they're gonna get up and down. They're gonna run people out of the building, even though they lost to Phoenix pretty bad. I just personally think 13.5 is a little bit too big of a number. I love Washington in this instance. Next one is Sacramento Kings versus New Orleans, -3.5. And gotta be honest, I think I'm going New Orleans again. And I'm going to take them right away, just because if I bet them now, that line is going to stay at 3.5. And then obviously Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, if they stay in there, and Lonzo Ball ends up playing, that's just another plus. So the Kings have been really bad. Every time that I bet on the Sacramento Kings, I've lost. So I'm not betting on them right now. They got smoked by Utah, got smoked by Detroit, got smoked by Minnesota. They only lost by 1 to Milwaukee somehow. And then they got smoked by the Lakers without LeBron, without Anthony Davis, and probably, let me check, but probably without Drummond. Yeah, and without Drummond. So they're not a very good basketball team right now. De'Aaron Fox is doing everything. I will give him that. He has played out of his mind. But personally, I like New Orleans minus 3.5. Next game is Phoenix versus Houston. Houston has kept almost every game close. I mean, they only lost by 16 to Golden State. Lost by 16. That's so weird. 125 to 109, 126 to 109. That's so weird. Lost by 17 to the Clippers. They beat Dallas. They lost by 3 to Phoenix. You know, they've kept every single game close. So, obviously this is a rematch against Phoenix, but if I had to pick a side, I would go with the Houston, because especially if the line's moving up and it's at 13 now, I got to be honest, if I was to be betting this game, which I don't think I will, it's kind of an ugly game, I would be taking that plus 12.5. Then the last game of the slate is Denver Nuggets versus Golden State. Got to be completely real with you guys. Denver has been on a tear. Other than this last game against Boston, I think that they have won. Yes, they won 8 of their last 10, and they have covered in 6 of their last 10. So that's 60% so far out of their last 10. I got to be honest, I'm taking Denver minus 3.5. I'm really not thinking about it too much. Jamal Murray is still questionable, but even with that, Campazzo is still a pretty good basketball player. And they still have Jokic. They still have Aaron Gordon. They still have Michael Porter Jr. They still have a lockdown in Will Barton. So it's not like they don't have anyone. I want to see if Golden State has any injuries. I doubt it. Oh, Kelly Oubre's out for sure. James Wiseman, yeah, I saw that he was out for the rest of the year. And Pascal is out. Yeah, I'm hammering Denver. This is a great matchup for Denver. They're not going to have a center to guard Jokic. Jokic could probably go for 40 tonight, no joke. So, with ease. So, just going to go over my pictures one last time. My favorite plays of the day is going to be Minnesota plus 9.5. That's going to be my first favorite. Second favorite is Washington. Or no. Second favorite's Denver minus 3.5. Third favorite is Washington plus 13.5. Then 4 and 5, because I always, if you guys are new to the channel, I always bet odd numbers, so that way I never go with a wash, which is why I shouldn't have bet on the Hawks yesterday, or on the Hawks game. But anyway, so those 3, and then the other 2 I'll be betting is probably going to be probably New York minus 3.5, and then probably I don't know, the Bulls plus 3. That's right. So those are my 5 betting picks as of today. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. But if you guys do tail me on any of these, let me know which ones you guys tailed me on down below, which one you guys are confident in, which ones you guys aren't confident in. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow as of April 13th. But this is King Sanders Picks signing out. Peace.